Hi again. Today's video is actually going to be about root vegetables. Right now you should be seeing, hopefully, some root vegetables on sale. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, after Thanksgiving deals. Now, basically what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and can these up. You can do this with any root vegetable: beets, kohlrabi, parsnips, carrots, any root vegetable. They all have about the same processing time. And let's get started. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do, I've already gone ahead and put the radishes in one jar because I only had enough radishes for one jar. The potatoes. Now, one thing with potatoes, if you have russets, I do, because of the skin is tough, go ahead and peel them. If you have thin skin potatoes, you can just leave the skin on. Just make sure everything is washed. And you don't have to dry them. Just make sure everything is washed and all the dirt's off. Let's go ahead and fill these jars up. Let me get a different jar. Now you can mash these and fill the jars up. I don't. It's not a requirement. But I just like cubed because I can do a little bit more with these. Now you do want to skin the sweet potatoes and cube, wash them and cube them. And this is going to take quite a few jars. Another thing that you can do to, because I don't do this because the sweet potato is sweet enough for me, you can add brown sugar to this. I do not recommend you put butter in this because butter has longer processing times. You can add butter whenever you open up the jar and make your meal. Clunk, clunk. Ah. Make sure any bad spots are off. I like these salad spinners. Not only do you wash your lettuce, but you can also wash this and use it as a strainer whenever you don't have enough room. That's about perfect. Now, here's what I do, is that I'll actually add water to these. You don't have to. You can dry process these, which means you don't add water to this. I don't like that method because it actually turns into mush, and it's a little, the processing times are a little bit longer. Again, fill up to the bottom rim. Wipe and process. 25 minutes for quarts, 20 minutes for pints. Need more water. more water. That one. Sometimes you need to cut up a veggie because it won't fit in all the way and it'll peek up. Go ahead and do that. It just means, more room in the jar. You want things to lay somewhat flat. You want these to be, the water to come up to the bottom rim here, but you really don't want these above. It's okay if they are above, but for the most part, you want them underneath the water. These will just be a little bit more cooked than these. All right, let's go ahead and wipe these rims, get some lids on them. Now, you notice that I'm mixing the jar sizes. It won't matter if these process for an extra 5 minutes. If you can get them all in one shot, go for it. The only thing is that you don't want to do anything with meat in it whenever you're doing veg because meat times are a lot longer. If you have butter or milk in them, I do believe that the process times are an hour. If you have anything, just regular vegetables like this, it's 25 minutes for the big quarts, 20 minutes for this. This will hold up to an extra 5 minutes. It may be a little bit more mushy, but that's okay. We've got one left over that didn't fit in there, so I'm going to get a little bit my tidy mighty. And we'll be back. All right, so it's the next morning, and I want to go ahead and go over some things with you. While as soon as I finished these, I went ahead and canned some more things. Brussels sprouts are the same pressure a processing time. Most vegetables are the same processing time. Anything with acid in it, like tomatoes, oranges, any citrus, anything like that, you can actually water bath. You don't have to pressure cook those. Green beans is a good one as well. 25 minutes for quarts and 20 minutes for pints. Now, I want to show you something here real quick. You see that buckling right there? I've got little divots on the sides. That's what happened with one of my potatoes. Okay, this was an older seal that failed on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open this one up and use it for dinner tonight. That's the only one that failed on me. But anytime you have anything that buckles, if you can see the shiny divots right there, you see that. That is what I considered a failed seal, and it's best to use these immediately. Another thing I want to show you, you can reuse your jars, even the store-bought ones. I do believe this one had roasted peppers in it. There's ones from this brand that I buy that has olives and other pickled produce in it. And these will seal. So long as the seal is correct and still good, you can still use these. Pressure canning, water bathing, you name it. Now, I want to show you a little bit of a really neat gadget that Grandpa Rebel actually got me. It's, where'd it go? It is called, focus, a Robo Twist. All right, this is a jar opener. It will open any jars or lids and take off rings that won't come off with your hands. Whenever you get older, your hands actually start to become weaker, and mine are starting to become arthritic. This is a wonderful tool. I am going to go ahead and open this and use it for breakfast. All you do is you set it there, push the button, and hold the jar. Don't forget to hold the jar. This is the best thing since sliced bread. And it will be a continuous purchase in my home. But I've got breakfast. We've got part of dinner. And the rest of these. This is, just to let you know, this is deer meat that I tried to cure. Didn't like the taste of it, but I'm going to go ahead and can it anyway because I can use this in other applications, like mixing this with putting this in a quiche or something. And anybody who is wanting to know how the radishes came out, because they were the red radishes, the red does come off and dyes the water inside. I use these as a substitute for potatoes, because potatoes have a lot of starch in them, and for people who have certain sensitivities, you can use radish, turnips, or kohlrabi as a potato substitute. And The sweet potatoes, whenever you bring them out of the can, you're going to have a lot of space at the bottom. See all that liquid? It'll come down eventually after a certain amount of time and it'll be okay. This is completely sealed, and so there's going to be no mold or rot at the top. And there you have it. Root veggies, regular veggies, all have the same processing time. Always check your recipes or websites to find processing times for each vegetable. That way you don't overprocess. And remember, your kitchen, your rules.